Well, I've done it again. I bought myself another project car because I've totally finished the other 10 projects that are sitting in the backyard. And we're on our way to pick it up. I'm a little bit excited because I'm fairly partial to these sorts of vehicles. And it's a bit of a special one, this one. You'll see why in a little bit, but we're on our way down the coast a little bit to go pick up this bad boy. It's on a bloke's property, hasn't been running in a few years, and it's our mission today to get this thing running off this guy's property onto a car trailer, bring it home so we can fix it up. Let's get cracking. Now on this episode of Full Boar, we're going to collect ourselves another project car. That's right, I've bought myself another vehicle that one day I will probably get around to working on. Now, this is one of my all-time favourite vehicles, and you will soon find out exactly why I reckon this car is so darn cool. Now, I caught wind of this vehicle whilst talking to a bloke at work who said that he had one of these particular vehicles sitting on his property, and he was actually, in fact, looking to get rid of it. Now, I bounced on it and it was the right price, so I went and snaffled it up. Well, I've gone and bought myself yet another Toyota Bundera. Now, this particular car is no ordinary Bundera, it is a soft top. That's right, it has a removable FRP roof. So the clutch is absolutely seized solid, so I've got to get in behind the clutch master cylinder boot and spray a bit of schmutz in there. So this bad boy's been sitting on old mate's property for a fair while now. It's got 450,000 K on it, it's got the mighty 22R petrol engine, and it supposedly has had a new motor put in it at some stage. Now, we've already pre-scouted the vehicle and made a game plan to get this bad boy out. See, the clutch is absolutely seized solid, and our main aim is to get that thing moving so we can select some gears and hopefully drive it out of his track. I'm a bit dirty now. So how long's it been since this thing's ran?
Since the fires.
Oh yeah.
Last year,
2019, the end of... Oh, okay.
So what I've gone and done here is sprayed a bit of inox into the back of the clutch master cylinder, and I'm just going to let that sit and work its way through and hopefully free up that clutch. In the meantime, Davo, the mechanical wizard, is going to spray some inox down the intake manifold just to wet up those cylinder walls a little bit before we start it for the first time with no oil pressure. Now, generally what you'd like to do is remove each plug and spray a bit down each cylinder, but those high tension leads are so fragile that I didn't want to snap one off.
Anyway.
Oh, we'll give it a crack.
I'll work the throttle.
Righto.
You tell me when you're about to crank. Right, when you're ready.
Oh.
Hey,
Ready?
Go again. Right, well, that should have wetted up a bit. Go again.
Fingies out.
Yep. I'll see if I can keep it going with inox. Right, go.
I've got carby clean in the thing behind you.
Yeah, I'll go with inox first because
Look,
Oh, it's moving. Yeah. Just kicked in enough. Oh, you got heaps of trouble there, Dave. Oh.
Go. Look at a piece of bale twine wrapped around that. Do it again. The brakes in there lock. Now it's pressure one, you want to keep it down.
Thank you guys. Take care. That wasn't that hard. Tell you what, she runs like an absolute top, this 22R. Crikey. She feels super smooth, even smoother than the motor in my red Bundy. Don't know why that is. Apparently it was rebuilt at some stage, so I wonder whether it was blueprinted and balanced or something like that, but it just feels like an absolute top. See if the brakes work. The brakes work! Wow, this guy's driveway is so cool. Man, I'd love to have a bit of land like this. The brakes seem to work alright. I reckon I could walk in and get Rego right now. Oh, mate gave me a bunch of spare parts as well, so a few cylinder heads. Some of them look like they're no good. A few other bits and bobs in there, another fuel pump, all the good stuff. Nothing more exciting than getting a bunch of spare parts with the new car that you bought. Now this is some proper off-roading. Now wonder they needed a short wheelbase Bundy just to get into their driveway. This is top-notch stuff. She's a bucket of bolts.
Well, boys and girls, this is a 1986 Toyota Land Cruiser Bundera. Now, some of you guys probably already know that I love my Bundys, and some of you guys probably won't even know what one of these bad boys is. Now, these are a pretty cool bit of kit, and not a lot of people really know much about them, and that's because I only made them from 1985 to 1990, and they didn't sell that many here in Australia. Now, the real cool thing about these is that they're coil sprung all the way around. Now there's this huge stigma about 70 series being leaf sprung in the front and rear, and in some cases of course coil sprung in the front, but they always had leaf springs. That's not the case with the Bundy, and it joins the club with the 80 series and the 105 series of being coil sprung all the way around. Now what we've got under the bonnet here is of course the mighty 22R Toyota engine. I reckon these things are the bee's knees. And they last pretty long if you know how to take care of them, and if you keep an eye on that timing chain, which is probably their only major weak point. Now these things are a single overhead cam, run a timing chain of course, just 2 valves per cylinder, and they're probably about as basic as you can get, other than the fact that they run about 1 million vacuum hoses, but that's what little ball bearings are for. But yeah, this one 22R, but they could have also been had with the Toyota 2L engine, which is still a 2.4 litre, but it's a diesel, and you could have had it in a 2LT, which is a turbo diesel version of that, and they're pretty cool. I haven't owned one of them yet, but it's on the cards. Now, what makes this thing so special is the fact that it has a removable top. Now these things could have been had with like an FRP, which is fiber reinforced plastic roof. However, this is an aftermarket one, so I'm not quite sure what the go is there. But the cool thing is that all of the top of the windows and doors can be all removed. So essentially you can just drive around with only the windscreen, which in fact even folds down like an old school army Jeep. Now some of you guys might be wondering, why on earth did I buy another rusty Toyota? Well, I'm a sucker for punishment, and if I see a rusty Toyota for the right price, I will generally buy it. And in this case, it was a soft top, short wheelbase, coil sprung Land Cruiser. So that's absolutely the duck's guts. You can't get any better than that. And of course, it was the right price, so I bought it. Now, I do intend on getting this thing back on the road. It is in pretty sad shape. But hey, it'd be pretty awesome to cruise around with the top down in this thing, going four-wheel driving out in the bush somewhere. So potentially one of these days we'll get cracking on some work on this thing. But for now, you'll probably see it sort of moving around in the background. But hey, maybe one day on a future episode of Full Bore, you'll see us go four-wheel driving in this bad boy. And when you do, that will be pretty cool. And we'll see you then on a future episode of Full Bore.